If you want to confuse an English speaker, just mess with their timeline.
That is a very true statement. I mean, time really is everything in this language.
It really is. Usually when we start learning a new language, we just want things to be simple.
Right.
We want one word for yesterday, one word for today, and one word for tomorrow. We just want to communicate basic information.
Exactly. Because we want to survive the conversation. We want to buy food or, ask for directions, say hello.
But then you look at English grammar,
Yeah.
and suddenly you realize there are 12 different ways to talk about time.
12.
12. It can feel incredibly confusing.
No.
It is like looking at a map with too many roads.
I think many people feel exactly that way. It looks overwhelming at first.
Mm.
But welcome to our deep dive today.
Yes, welcome.
We are looking at a very helpful source called The Complete Guide to All 12 English Tenses. And our mission today is to make this complex map of time very easy to read.
I'm excited about this because here's an interesting idea to think about. English is secretly obsessed with the present moment. Even when we talk about the past, we're often just trying to explain how the past affects us right now.
That is a fascinating insight. The tenses are not just random rules.
Right.
They are emotional tools. They help us show how we feel about an action.
Let's explore how that works. But first, how do we make 12 tenses simple? Because I read the guide and it talks about a grid.
Yes. So think of English grammar as a simple box.
Okay.
The box has 3 columns and 4 rows. The 3 columns are our main time periods: past, present, and future.
Well, that part is easy to imagine. Things that happen, things happening now, and things that will happen later.
Right. Now, the 4 rows are called aspects.
Aspects.
These describe how the action happens. So is it a simple fact? Is it continuing right now? Is it completely finished?
I see.
The 4 aspects are simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. So 3 times 4 equals 12.
Wow. So really, every tense is just trying to answer 2 simple questions.
Exactly, too.
The first, when did it happen?
And second, what is its relationship to this exact moment right now?
That's the best way to look at it. Once you understand those 2 questions, the 12 tenses become your tools. You use them to paint a clear picture for the person listening to you.
To make this easy, let's start in the place where we live every single day. Let's start with the present.
Let's do that. The first tool is the simple present tense.
Okay.
We use this for facts, general truths, and habits. Basically, we use it for things that are normally true.
Right. So, for example, a scientific fact would be water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
It was true yesterday, it is true today, and it will be true tomorrow. It is just a fact.
Exactly. Or, if we talk about your daily life, you might say, I wake up at 6 a.m.
I use that tense all the time when talking to friends. I wake up, I drink coffee, I go to work. It feels very simple.
It is simple, yes.
But I often hear beginners make a small mistake here. What is the most common issue you see?
It is a small detail, but native speakers notice it immediately.
Really?
What is it?
Beginners often forget to add the S or E sound when they talk about another person.
Oh.
When we use he, she, or it, the action word has to change.
Oh, I know what you mean. So instead of saying he goes to the store, someone might say he go to the store.
Yes, exactly. And while people will still understand you, he goes and sounds a bit broken, you must add the E's to say he goes.
Right. Or she drinks coffee.
Yes. Remembering that little S makes your English sound much more natural.
That makes perfect sense. It is just a tiny habit to build. Now, that covers everyday routines, but what if something is happening right now in front of my eyes?
For that situation, we use the present continuous tense. This is for actions happening at the exact moment you are speaking.
Okay, so if I look out the window right now, I say, look, it is raining.
Yes. You use the word is, and then you add into the action. It is raining.
Okay.
We also use this for temporary situations. For example, I am staying with my cousin this week.
Because you will not stay with your cousin forever. It is only for a short time.
Right. Feels temporary.
Yeah.
But here is where we need to be careful.
Oh.
Some words do not work with this tense. We call them stative verbs.
Stative verbs. That sounds complicated.
It just means they describe a state, a feeling, or a thought. They do not describe a physical action. Words like know, love, or want.
Let me try a real-life example to see if I understand.
Go ahead.
Let's say I am at a restaurant. I look at the menu and see a delicious cake.
Right.
I say, I want this cake. I do not say, I am wanting this cake.
That is a great example. Why do you think we say it that way?
I think it is because want is a feeling inside my head. You cannot take a picture of me wanting.
Yes.
It is not a physical action like running or eating.
That is a brilliant way to explain it. You cannot see the action happening. So we do
Yeah.
not use aiming. You just say, I want it, or I know the answer. Never say I am knowing.
I will remember that. Okay, but this brings us to a tricky point.
Yep.
What happens if an action started in the past, but it still touches my life right now?
This is where we introduce the perfect tenses.
These can be tough.
Many learners find these difficult, yes, but they are very useful. The present perfect tense is used for an action that was completed in the past, but we do not say exactly when it happened.
Okay.
The focus is on the present moment.
Can you give me an everyday example?
Think about your life experiences. You might tell a new friend, I have visited Paris.
I have visited Paris.
Yes. You do not tell them the year or the month. The important fact is that you have this memory in your head right now.
So you use the word have, and then the past version of the action word, I have visited.
Exactly.
Let me ask a follow-up question. What if I want to tell my friend the exact time I went? Can I say, I have visited Paris last year?
No, you cannot combine those. This is a very common mistake.
Really? Why not?
Last year is a specific time. It is dead and completely finished. If you mention a specific finished time, you must step back into the simple past tense.
Oh.
You just say, I visited Paris last year.
I see the difference. If I say last year, the bridge to the present is broken. The story is stuck in the past. But I have visited Paris means my life today is different because of that trip.
Yes, that is a beautiful way to think about it. The present perfect connects the past to who you are today.
Okay, we have one more present tense on our map. The present perfect continuous. That is a very long name.
It sounds complicated, but the feeling of it is actually simple. We use it when an action started in the past, and it's still happening right now.
Okay.
But here, we really want to focus on the duration. We want to focus on the hard work of the process.
So if I am sweating and tired from working all morning, I could say, I have been studying for 3 hours.
Yes, you use have been and add them to the word. I have been studying. You are making the listener focus on the long process.
How is that different from the normal present perfect? What if I just say, I have studied?
Think about a different example. Imagine you are cleaning your house. If you say, I have cleaned the house, the listener pictures the result.
They picture a sparkling clean floor.
Exactly. The job is 100% finished.
And if I say, I have been cleaning the house,
Then the listener pictures you holding a mop, looking very tired. You might still be cleaning. You are focusing on the exhaustion, not just the clean floor.
I love that. I have cleaned is the result. I have been cleaning is the tired feeling. That makes it so much easier to understand.
It really does.
Now that we understand the present, we naturally want to share stories about what already happened to us. So let's travel back in time.
Let's do it. Telling stories is how we connect with people. And the most basic tool for this is the simple past tense.
Right.
We use this for a finished action at a specific time in the past.
This is for things that are done and gone. Like, I graduated from university in 2015.
Yes, you use the past form of the word. For regular words, you add, like visited. For irregular words, the whole word changes, like go becoming went.
And that is a big trap for learners, isn't it? When people speak quickly, they forget to change the word.
It happens constantly. Someone might say, I go there yesterday.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about the story, they forget the grammar.
Yes, it is easy to make that mistake. It should be, I went there yesterday. We have to show the listener that the time is closed.
Exactly.
Okay, but what if I want to talk about something I was doing for a while in the past?
Then we use the past continuous tense. This describes an action that was in progress at a specific moment in the past.
Let me give an example from last night. If someone asked what I was doing at 7 p.m., I would say, I was cooking dinner.
Yes. You were in the middle of the action. You were chopping vegetables and stirring a pot. We often use this tense when two things happen at the same time.
Here is an analogy I like to use for the past continuous.
So let's hear it.
Think of it like the background music in a movie scene. It sets the mood. And then the simple past is the sudden action that interrupts the music.
I really like that visual. Can you give an example of that interruption?
Sure. Imagine I am telling a story. I say, I was sleeping when the phone rang.
Okay.
I was sleeping is the long background music. The phone rang is the sudden, short action that stops the music.
That is a perfect sentence. You smoothly combined two past tenses. Sometimes beginners will just say, when I arrived, she cooked.
That sounds a bit strange. It sounds like she waited for me to arrive and then she started cooking.
Yes, But if the cooking was already happening as background music when you open the door, you must say, when I arrived, she was cooking.
Right.
It completely changes the reality of the story.
It paints a much better picture.
Okay, let's look at a common problem when telling stories. I always get stuck when I am telling a story, and I realize I
Yeah.
forgot a detail that,
That happened earlier.
yeah, that happened earlier. Do I just jump backward?
This is exactly why we have the past perfect tense. You can think of it as a time machine.
A time machine.
Yes. It shows the listener which action happened first in the past.
Let me try a situation. I went to the cinema with a friend, but there was a lot of traffic. We were late.
Okay.
So I could tell another friend by the time we arrived, the movie had already started.
That works very well. There are two events in the past. You arrived and the movie started.
Right. Because the movie started first, before you arrived, we use the word had plus the past action. Had started. It organizes the timeline for the listener.
So it prevents confusion. But I have a question.
Sure.
Should I use this for every action in my story? For example, I had woken up, and then I had eaten breakfast, and then I had gone to work.
No, please do not do that.
Too much?
Way too much. If you are just telling a list of events in normal order, just use the simple past. I woke up, I ate breakfast, I went to work.
Okay.
You only use the past perfect when you need to jump backward in your story.
I understand. It is a special tool, not a normal tool. Use it only to point to the earliest event.
Exactly.
That brings us to the final past tense, the past perfect continuous.
This tense is very similar, but again it focuses on the duration. It describes an ongoing action in the past that continued right up until another past event.
Can you give me an example using a common situation, maybe something at an office?
Imagine talking about a coworker who left the company last year. You could explain her history by saying she'd been working there for 5 years before she resigned.
Let me break down that timeline.
Okay.
Event A is her working there. That action was ongoing. It lasted for 5 whole years. Event B is her resigning.
Right.
Because event A took a long time and happened before event B, we say she had been working.
Yes, you are emphasizing the long process before the final event happened. It makes the story feel heavier.
Wow. We have lived in the present, and we have told stories about the past. Now we need to look forward. How do we talk about where we are going?
We need to explore the future tenses. This is where we make plans and predictions.
Let's start with making simple plans. The simple future. But wait, English has 2 different ways to do this.
Yes, it does.
We can use the word will, or we can use the phrase going to. Are they the same thing?
They both talk about the future, but they have very different feelings. This is a very common place for English learners to feel confused.
Let's test this with this scenario. Let's say I bought a plane ticket for a vacation to Spain next month.
Nice.
The ticket is in my hand. Do I tell my friend I will travel to Spain, or do I say I am going to travel to Spain?
Because you already bought the ticket, you already made the plan.
Right.
For pre-planned decisions, you should use going to. You should say, I'm going to travel to Spain. It feels solid and safe.
So when do I actually use will?
We use will for spontaneous decisions.
Spontaneous?
Yes, these are choices you make at the exact moment you are speaking. For example, imagine you are sitting in your living room. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. You did not expect it.
Right. It is a surprise.
So you stand up. Do you say, I am going to answer the door, or I will answer the door?
I see the difference now. Because I just made the decision right the second, I say I will answer the door.
Yes, will feels sudden and helpful. We also use it for promises like, I will help you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But for your planned vacation, always use going to.
I love that distinction. Going to is a plan.
Yeah.
Will is a reaction. Okay, let's move to the next future tool. What if I want to describe myself in the middle of an action tomorrow?
Then you use the future continuous tense. We use this for an action that will be in progress at a specific time in the future.
Let's say my friend wants to call me at 10 a.m. tomorrow, but I have a meeting at work. I can say, please do not call me at 10 a.m. I will be attending a meeting.
That paints a clear picture. You are telling your friend that the meeting will already be in progress when they call. It is very helpful for scheduling your day.
Are there any other everyday ways to use this tense?
Actually, yes. It is a very polite way to ask about someone's plans. For example, if you live with someone, you might ask, will you be using the car tonight?
Oh, that sounds very gentle. Why is it more polite than saying, are you taking the car?
Because it does not sound like a demand. You're just casually asking about a situation in progress. It gives the other person space to answer.
That is a fantastic tip for everyday conversation. Will you be using the car? I will start using that.
It is very natural.
Okay. We are near the end of our map. We have two more tools. Let's talk about the future perfect.
The future perfect is the deadline tense. It is used when an action will be completely finished before a specific point in the future.
Let's use a work example. Let's say my manager gives me a big project. She needs it by Friday. I want to promise her that it will be completely done before the deadline. I would say by Friday, I will have finished the project.
Yes, you are mentally traveling forward to Friday, looking back, and promising that the action is 100% complete.
What is the mistake beginners usually make with this one?
Often people forget the word have. They just push will and the past verb together. They might say, I will finished,
Oh, I hear that a lot.
but that is incorrect grammar. You must say, I will have finished.
Got it. Keep the have in the middle. Okay, finally, we have reached the last square on our grid, the future perfect continuous.
This is the longest tense in English. It emphasizes the duration of an action that continues up to a specific point in the future.
That sounds like a lot of words to remember. Can we ground this in a simple example?
Sure. Imagine you started studying English in the year 2020. Next year will be 2027. That is 7 years.
Right.
So you can look forward to next year and say, by next year, I will have been studying English for 7 years.
I understand the feeling. I am standing in the present. I look forward to next year. And then I look backward at the long road of continuous studying.
Yes, you are showing how a long, ongoing action stretches into a future deadline. Now, to be honest, beginners often avoid this tense. It feels too long.
I agree. I would probably just say, next year is my 7-year anniversary of studying.
And that is completely fine. You can communicate the idea simply. But understanding this tense is incredibly useful.
Why is that?
Because when you hear a native speaker say, by December, she will have been living in London for 5 years, you will know exactly what they mean.
It does sound very advanced and fluent. So we have explored the entire map. We covered the present, the past, and the future.
We did.
We looked at simple facts, continuous background music, perfect experiences, and long continuous processes.
We covered all 12 tools.
Right.
It is a lot of information, but when you break it down, it is very logical.
So what is our big takeaway here? I think it is important to remember that these 12 English tenses are not just confusing grammar rules to memorize for a school test.
I agree. If you just memorize them, you will forget them.
They are specific tools designed to change the emotional reality of your story. They let you show the difference between a sudden surprise and a long-term plan.
Right.
They let you show the difference between a clean house and the exhaustion of cleaning.
Yes. When you understand the tools, you stop surviving the conversation. You start building exactly what you want to say.
Before we finish our deep dive today, I want to leave everyone listening with a final thought to consider. Think about your own native language. How does your language handle time?
That is always a fun comparison to make.
Do you have 12 distinct verb forms like English? Or do you rely more on context words? Some languages just use words like already or yesterday while keeping the action word exactly the same.
Every language has its own unique map.
Noticing the difference between how your native language works and how English works is the ultimate secret to unlocking true fluency. Keep practicing these structures in your daily conversations. Notice when people use them on television or at work. Have fun with the map. We will see you on the next deep dive.